Hey everybody, it's Safi and Mark with Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube. We review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. Ugh, I'm not in the mood to review anything new, so I just want to do another Goosebumps book review. And today it is a book that, is very, very unmemorable. Let's Get Invisible. This is a book that I was not looking forward to, obviously. Like, a book about kids getting invisible? Like, who fucking cares? I watched the episode for the first time, and honestly, the episode was better than the book. I thought that the episode was paced a lot better, and it was kind of creepy. It was kind of uncomfortable. The fact that, they're using this mirror to to they're using the mirror and the light to get invisible. It's kind of intense because if you thought about, like, what if this was real life and they're actually doing that, it would be pretty scary. Like, especially the parts where, like, they don't come back, or that it takes them a lot longer to come back. It really, really gets worrying over the book and makes you wish, like, oh shit, it's too bad there's no, like, guide. Like in other Goosebumps books, the characters will know how to deal with the monsters because they have a guide. Like with Slappy, they have his calling card where they can say the words backwards. And then in the the sponge one, they have the Encyclopedia of the Weird. Well, see, that's the thing that was so cool about that book, is that that encyclopedia has to have every monster ever. And so wouldn't it be amazing to see that encyclopedia get used in this book? Because this book was really, really boring. I struggled reading this book. It was a nightmare. The whole book was literally, okay, let's get invisible again. Okay, let's see how long we can stay invisible this time. Okay, let's have a contest. Let's see if we can beat our last times. Like, that is the whole book. And I was flabbergasted. Like, was R.L. Stine trolling with this book? The kids just getting invisible over and over and over again in this very boring way. Whereas in the episode, it's a lot more intense, scary, blah, blah, blah. I really didn't like the book. Honestly, I can't remember much of anything about it because it was just so bland and boring and awful compared to the episode. It really made me question, like, why the story was made in the first place, because I think I've read all of his Invisible stories by now. His other ones are better and they're more worthwhile. So I just kind of wondered, like, why did this even exist? Like, what was the idea? Like, okay, there's a mirror that can turn you invisible, but nothing really interesting happens with the mirror until the end, where, spoiler alert, one of the kids gets trapped, and it turns out that inside the mirror are doppelgangers of you. And so this guy's doppelganger uh, switches places with them. It's pretty creepy, honestly. I did like that part a lot, even though in the episode the effects looked bad. I thought it was a really creepy idea, and it reminded me of Twin Peaks, and I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, the book, it was just so boring. I remember the only thing that I remember about the book is that, and keep in mind, this would have been the same if I reviewed this book when I read it back in June of last year, because it was just so boring. Like, I was struggling to get through it. I had a hard time just like speeding myself through this book. But I do remember that, like, they were having a party and they were watching Terminator 2 together, and I thought that's hilarious. Like, that R.L. Stein, like, there's a lot of overprotective parents. They'd never let their kids watch Terminator 2, but then you have R.L. Stein, and, he lets his Goosebumps characters watch T2. I thought that was pretty funny. But other than that, this book is super forgettable. It's too bad because you could have done something really cool with this concept, especially the mirror dimension thing. Like, it's too bad that there's not a whole book that's inside the mirror dimension or something like that. In the same way that I said with Twin Peaks, it's too bad that there's not a season of Twin Peaks where all the doppelgangers come out of the Black Lodge. Like, wouldn't that be cool to see every character's doppelganger? Like, all the good characters would be evil, all the evil characters would be good. That would be really, really cool. Like, just imagine that, like a movie, maybe, where you got like Evil Cooper has returned, but then you got the good version of Richard Horn and the good version of Bob. Like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, I want to see that right now. But you see how uninteresting this book is. I'm not even really talking about it. I would give this book an F minus. I really have nothing good to say about this book. And on top of the fact that it was bad, it was boring. And honestly, if a book is bad, I can at least applaud it for doing something interesting or different. But if a book is boring, then I can't applaud it for anything because being boring means that it's not memorable and it's not going to stick with me over time. So I would recommend staying away from this crappy book. It is completely not worth it. The characters are bland. I can't even remember the characters except for the ones in the episode. The story is bad. I mean, just ugh. And this book is a longer one too. This is one of the longer Goosebumps books. So stay the hell away from this one, honestly. So, please like this video if you liked it. Comment and tell me what you thought about Let's Get Invisible. And then please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more Goosebumps reviews in the future. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.